Right now, I am going to start off this video with a bit of a disclaimer that I can guarantee no one cares about and also probably hasn't even noticed. But over the past few weeks, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and grow a beard, right? I want to actually look like a man for once, right? So I've been trying to grow this out. It was a pretty poor attempt, I've got to be honest. But I thought I started looking a little bit older, you know, I was like, okay, we'll make a little bit of progress. But that was until yesterday when I made a mistake and then it resulted in me having to, like, shave it all off, and now I feel like I look like a toddler. Like I said, you probably haven't even noticed, but every time I look in the viewfinder right now, I feel sick to my stomach, so I'm gonna try and look down for this video. But yeah, either way, today we are talking about Mikayla Nogueira, who is someone that we haven't spoke about for a good few months at this point. I believe the only time we've really spoke about Mikayla is when she had, like, the magic eyelashes that just grew, like, out of nowhere. And I remember at the time I actually did a joke where I was like, oh, I have a magic beard brush, and then I pretended to, like, brush, and then I had a beard. I could really do with that right now. So yeah, Mikayla, if you are watching, any discount codes going? You know, does it work on facial hair? Please let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, today we're actually not talking about Mikayla's magic eyelashes. In fact, we're talking about her wedding day, which I believe was yesterday. And there's a lot of drama around it. There's usually a lot of drama around Mikayla in general. I feel like she is kind of like today's version of Jeffree Star, you know, like I think Jeffree Star used to do, but like back in the day would be involved in drama. Now it's Mikayla. But I've got to be honest, and I don't think people are going to like me saying this, I feel like I'm probably going to defend Mikayla a lot more than criticize her in today's video, because I don't really get what all the drama's about. So to give some context in this situation, this is actually the first TikTok I saw talking about it. It's got 303,000 likes on TikTok. It's clearly blew up. It's a massive video. So let's see what all the drama's about.
An alleged friend posted this on TikTok or social media in general and said that they received a save the date from Mikayla and Cody for the wedding, but never got the invite.
Okay, so this is where all the drama started, right? Someone who was Mikayla's friend received a save the date saying that she's getting married, and this is pretty much an invitation to the wedding, right? It's obviously not like a formal invitation, it's just saying this wedding's happening, so keep an eye out. But this person didn't end up getting invited to the wedding, and obviously if your friend is getting married and you've been told about this wedding, save the date, all this stuff, and you don't get married, you'd be good. There would be a lot of things that you're questioning yourself, like, oh, why wouldn't I get invited? Are we not good friends? Like, I don't really understand. But the way that this supposed person has reacted to not getting invited to a wedding baffles me.
So the problem is, not only did they upload this part, but they also like posted the other side of the invitation or the save the date, where it had like a lot of the information of where the wedding was going to be held, the types of hotels that people should stay in, and pretty much one of those hotels will be where Mikayla is staying. So technically, a friend doxed Mikayla's wedding location.
And you can obviously say maybe it wasn't intentional, maybe they just didn't really think through it, they were just trying to show the wedding invite or like the save the date to prove that they were invited. But surely you could use a bit of common sense and be like, right, maybe we shouldn't have the location for millions to see. And I think what it really all boils down to is, no matter what you think about Mikayla, if you like her, if you don't, whatever, she can invite who she wants to her wedding. Now, I did see a lot of people going at Mikayla because she invited like a bunch of influencers instead of like her close friends, and it looked like it was a bit of like a brand trip rather than an actual like wedding where you invite your friends and family. And if that is the case, obviously that's shit. Like, how can you be so obsessed with your social media following that you want to turn your wedding into like this big brand trip where millions of people are going to see it because a bunch of influencers are posting videos like getting ready for the wedding and whatnot? If anything, that's just really sad to me, but at the end of the day, she can invite who she wants to a wedding.
So they're basically saying she cut a bunch of her friends from the wedding so she could invite a bunch of influencers to the wedding, and this entire thing is basically just a brand trip for Mikayla.
Yeah, that would be a shit situation, like I said. If you were that friend, you would be gutted, you would also be angry, you'd be like, right, why are you just inviting a bunch of like influencers that you don't even know and you're not inviting your own friends? But yet again, that's a very private matter between these two people. I don't really get the whole going on social media, leaking where the place is, and now also showing some text messages that this person allegedly sent to Mikayla. We can see it right here, and obviously I can't guarantee that this is definitely 100% real and this person was definitely invited. All they've really showed is the save the date form and where like the venue was at and whatnot, which does make it seem like they were invited, but who knows at this point. I see right through you, just so you are aware. To send someone a save the date and then not send them an invitation is incredibly classless. was, you ghosted me to avoid sending me an invitation to your influencer wedding. That's some foul ass shit. I believe in karma and she sure will get you one day. You will look back at your wedding photos in 10 years from now and deeply regret inviting all of those internet strangers that you didn't even know. I truly hope wasting this special day on a bunch of something friends, I'm assuming that says fake friends, is worth it to you. And I just don't understand why this has been posted publicly, to be honest. And yes, like, some things that she says are true, right? You will probably be looking back at them photos in 10 years when you don't speak to any of these people and be a bit gutted that you didn't invite your true friends, if this situation is even real in the first place. And yeah, like I already said, turning your wedding a very special day, probably the most special day of your life, realistically, bar like having children, right? The fact that you've turned that special day into like a brand thing where you're inviting a bunch of influencers and like you've got loads of marketing behind it, that is just kind of sad to me. It should really be the one day where you don't care about social media in general. That would just be my personal preference. But yet again, this all boils down to the fact that she can invite who she wants. And even if this does have to be an issue, I just don't see why it has to be a public one, you know?
Now a bunch of influencers are starting to upload videos and pictures to social media, and it's like random people like James Charles. And now they're saying that a friend of 10 years clearly outweighs a basic relationship that you have with someone like James Charles.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? I see both sides of it. I can see exactly why you would be annoyed if you were the friend who got uninvited, kind of, and then a bunch of these influencers got invited. I can see why you would be incredibly pissed off about that. But the bit I really don't understand is, like, the doxing, showing private messages and all that stuff. I just don't understand that. If you really want to just make the original post just saying this has happened and it's just a shitty situation, that's one thing, but it went on a bit. I don't really get that. Now, here we have another TikTok talking about this whole situation that has like 70,000 likes. Clearly, this has been a big piece of drama over TikTok like in the past couple of days. So, yeah, let's hear what they have to say.
I counted rows, and it was like 180 people that actually saw her vows and were at this part of the wedding, and I thought, oh, maybe the influencers just went to the reception or something. 180 people wouldn't even fit my boyfriend's side of the family, let alone ours combined.
That's a big family. Fucking hell. I always thought I had a big family, but I don't think I have 180 people on my side of the family. Or am I just underestimating it? Is that like a normal number for a wedding? Let me know.
Mikayla gave all of her guests lip kits as like a party favor. And when this woman was talking, she actually did bring up that she saw their vow. So every single influencer I saw make a get ready with me video or a wedding party guest video about her wedding was in the 180 people.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can understand why this is a shit situation for the friends and why you would be fuming if you were one of the friends and you got uninvited and all this stuff, but I think it's maybe been blown out of proportion quite a bit. Like, I feel like your wedding day should be the day you can do anything you want, you know, you've paid for it, you can invite who you want, and I don't really get why it has been this big public spectacle. And as much as I also think if she has just invited a bunch of influencers she doesn't know and uninvited her friends, that is shitty in all senses, and I kind of feel a bit bad for her because she probably will look back at it and regret it in a few years. But we also don't know the reasons behind this. We don't even know who this friend really was who says they got uninvited. We don't know what the situation is between them and Mikayla. Maybe they fell out. Maybe there's something more to it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it just seems like a bit like jumping to conclusions for me.
So I honestly think all the influencers making videos had contracts with Elf to do so, because this feels a little bit more like a brand trip for Elf than her wedding. But all the influencers in attendance posted the same type of videos.
I mean, yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I wouldn't really be surprised if this fucking wedding was sponsored and everybody who attended had to post like a certain amount of videos and that's why a bunch of influencers were there. Like, at this point, nothing on TikTok surprises me. But yeah, I would love to know your opinions on this because I can see both sides to it. I can see why if you are the friend, you would be pissed off and why you might want to have a private conversation with Mikayla to see what the crack is and what's actually happened to you. But I don't get the whole like posting the text publicly and whatnot. And yeah, like I said, she can invite who she wants. It's her wedding. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. I would love to know your opinions. Do you really think it's that big of a deal in the first place or what? Let me know what you think down below. I mean, just give some context of who was there, I guess. We got this video that's showing it that has 80,000 likes. So let's see. Okay, she got James Charles, of course. Dylan Mulvaney, Chris Olsen, Patrick Starr. I mean, out of that list, I only know who James Charles is, and I've heard of Patrick Starr before, but yeah, I'm guessing they're all, like, celebrities and influencers, but I'll be really surprised at this point. I mean, someone who has millions and millions and millions of followers inviting other people with millions and millions and millions of followers to their wedding, I'm not shocked in the slightest. It's became very clear at this point that these people with these, like, millions and millions of followers hang around with people with millions and millions of followers. Even if it doesn't even seem like they get along, they just want to be around a bunch of influencers and celebrities and whatnot. Seems like a very sad life to live. stuff. But apparently that's the life that a lot of people like to live, because we see it non-stop. But yeah, like I said, let me know your thoughts on everything we spoke about down below. And yeah, I'm gonna leave the video there, so if you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit, alright? Goodbye.